so far so good. Welcome, ladies and no gentlemen today. No gentlemen, just me. Oh, we have more. You do not. Just kidding. Wrong number. All right. Okay. Okay, so welcome to the special lecture. I think. Thank you. Thank you. Get in the back. Oh, hi guys. Look at that. All right. Come on in. Uh-oh, you're late. I have to sit in the front. Okay. I'm so pleased to see. I'm so pleased to see so many of my own students. It's a pleasure to see my own students, Y1 students and P2 students. I do not know exactly, but I also teach in the YL program. I teach mostly in SMU, but I'm also currently doing theory for Y2 as well. So anyway, hi Ellie. So just so there's no false advertisement, this is not for the little tiniest kids necessarily. Okay. But most of what I'm going to be talking about today is for kind of your older students. They could be adults or teenagers. Some of them could be kids as well. So, but probably not the littlest little baby kids. Okay? What do we have numbers? One. Well, if we do get more, I might have to recruit a volunteer to help pass these out to our newcomers. No newcomers? One newcomer. Oh, careful, Desmond, thank you. Alright? Good work. Welcome. Yeah, we try to do our best nowadays to time our special lectures to correspond with your schedules. But we understand how sometimes class goes over, you have a lot of things you want to talk about. Certainly, clarifying midterms with your professor is more important than this, right? Midterms are coming, hooray! All right, except for PI. Not yet. Can you hear me with this thing? Anyway. There we go, a little bit louder, right? I just want to make sure everybody can hear my lovely voice. So welcome to Making Learning Fun. Making Learning Fun. This is just a little special workshop that I put together for our students and graduates who would like that additional something, okay, that maybe we can't put in our curriculum as much as we'd like to. Alright, so many of you know me. My name is Dave. Nice to see you all. Alright, jumping right in, fun. Fun is not just for kids, right? It's not just for kids. Raise your hand if you like to have fun. I should see all of your hands, right? If you don't like to have fun, I don't believe you. Okay, it's not just for kids. I like to have fun myself. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm going to the KT Wiz baseball game. That's how I have fun. How do you have fun? You don't have to tell me. Keep your secrets. Okay? So why are we here? Why are we here? Well, that's where we are, by the way. We are here because we want to talk about fun and funny. A couple disclaimers before we begin. This presentation, this workshop, does not claim that teachers must be entertainers. Okay, that's not your job, right? Our primary mission is to encourage students to learn, right? One of the ways we can do that is by appealing to what's interesting to them, right? We have many other roles. SMU students, you know the teacher's roles, you remember? What are the teacher's roles? Do you remember? Involver is one. Namer. Explainer. Who am I right now? I'm explaining. Okay. Disclaimer number 2. As YL students know, I don't think you've had this lesson yet, but in CDT, fun is not enough. Okay, so it's not enough just to be fun. We also have to have that learning objective, right? Anyway, so here comes the cool part. A little language point that is useful for your students. You probably know this already, but when we talk about fun, welcome Young, welcome Young. Okay, when we talk about fun, fun is enjoyable. It means it's enjoyable. You're having a good time. Wow. We have me young, we have young, we have younger. Me young, alright. So for example, Everland was fun. I had a really good time on those roller coasters, right? Funny means humorous, it makes you laugh. Right? Mia?
Yes.
Is comedy fun or funny?
Funny.
Because?
It's enjoyable.
Careful, that's enjoyable too. Because it makes you laugh. This is a little language thing, you guys know it. It's for your students. Anyway. By the way, when we're talking about fun and funny, everything funny is also fun, but not everything fun is funny. Whoa, that's pretty deep. I don't think about it. Okay. Anyway, that's enough. So here's the fun, funny process we're going to talk about. Like a little flow chart. First you have fun, and then you be funny, and then guess what? Your students, you have to let them have fun and be funny too. It's okay, let your students make jokes, even if they're not funny to you, even if they're not funny to each other. We'll talk about that. Anyway, here's what we're kind of talking about today. We're going to talk about some fun and funny reading activity. Talk about the fun and funny listening activity that you might do to make things more enjoyable. Fun and funny grammar practice. Can grammar practice be fun? SMU students know grammar can be fun. YL students know, where are you? YL students, you know grammar can be fun. Are you having fun? Yeah. Go fish. Ooh, I like that one. Go fish. Do you have any blue fish? I don't know how to play the game. Okay. Fun, funny fluency practice. Restricted and authentic. SMU students know. Fun, funny writing. Alright. Wow, so happy to see so much of G2 coming today. And some other general considerations about being fun and funny in the classroom. And some material stuff. Wow. If you're just joining us, please, I have one or two of these left. I only expected about 25, so that's how many of these handouts I have. Hopefully, everyone's sitting with somebody who can help them. If you don't have a handout near you and you're sitting alone, maybe you can make a friend. If you want to make a friend, if you want. Anyway, here we go. Oh, you're so nice, Olive. Thank you, Olive. Okay, so the first thing we want to do today, sometimes we need to check our language level, right? What's your language level in English? Novice, who said novice? Novice, no. Anyway, there's a fun way you can have your students check their language level. And we're going to do it together. On your handouts, there's a little picture there. Everyone find the top picture of the handouts? It's a really small picture. Okay. This is a website. Well, actually, it's a YouTube channel, and they let you check your proficiency level using videos, using sitcoms, American dramas and comedies, and dramedies. Okay? So, it'll tell you exactly what your level is. Let's see if we can do this part together. Everyone think of the answer in your mind. You're beat to make me cry. You're thinking to make me cry. You're around to make me cry. You're planned to make me cry. You're about to make me cry. I don't know. Think of the answer in your mind. Let's check our level. Oh no. No internet? An unexpected error. Okay. You know what? As teachers, we always have to be prepared for unexpected errors. Ta-da! Oh yeah. Oh yes, foreigner speaking. Let me find that exact part. Alright, so we're looking for 1304. Everyone have your answer? I have my answer.
We didn't order cake. No, I know. They're from me. You know I love you, so will you please relax because you're driving me crazy.
No, that's the first time you ever said that you love me.
That's the first time you ever said that you love me. And now she's gonna say what? I don't know.
Yeah.
Supposed to pretend it's not a big deal?
That's exactly what we're gonna do because it's making me cry and
Raise your hand for A, B, C, D. Alright. D.
you're about to make me cry and
Anyway, we're not going to watch the rest of this, but you could go through this whole video and at the end it'll say, congratulations, you're C2, you're B1, and then you say, oh, I'm intermediate, very nice. You can do that with your students, it's super fun. So we can even have fun when we are checking our proficiency level. There's no reason you have to do a boring proficiency diagnostic. Oops. Okay, so that was your fun, funny level test. And you just guessed it. We could do different kinds of fun or funny reading activities. Now, if you're an SMU student, you've seen different reading activities and reading strategies, but we can also use, let's see if this works. Sometimes that works. We can also use one of my favorite activities is called ambiguous headlines. Ambiguous, we don't know exactly what it means. Children make nutritious snacks. Okay? One meaning of that could be, well, children are making snacks. And one meaning of that is children are good snacks. Yummy, yummy, I like eating children. Right? So what you can do in this reading activity is there's a number of headlines that can have different meanings depending on the context. So you give them one headline and you give them two articles. One article describes the normal meaning and one article describes the funny, weird meaning. For example, you have on your handouts, there's another one there. You have a headline, hospital sued by 6 foot doctors. Okay? So what you're going to do, let's skim together. You're going to skim. And when I say skim, is that reading quickly or slowly? Is it reading for main idea or detail?
Main idea.
Main idea. So let's skim together our first one. It looks like this. Story A. So you're going to skim it and decide, is it the real story or is it the funny story? Real meaning or funny meaning? I wish I did. You have none back there? Maybe you could make a friend. I only had 25. I'm so sorry. Way more than I expected. Oh, Miyang, are you helping? Thanks. I'm sorry, I don't have any at all. I don't have. Right, okay, so a little bit, you didn't expect to read today, I know. So basically, here we have a hospital. They're filing a lawsuit. Who is filing a lawsuit? Sorry?
6 foot doctors.
6 foot doctors. What's the word for foot doctor? Starts with P? Podiatrist. podiatrist, foot doctor. So this is the real headline. So one way to interpret this is there are 6 doctors who specialize in feet, right? The other way, if you read story B, this is the funny one. What's the other way to interpret this? Skin together. Second paragraph gives you the punchline, really. This might be a cultural thing. So, second paragraph says, Doctors Torque and Darien are, how do we read that? 7 foot 10 inches and 8 foot 1 inch. It's a cultural thing. 6 foot doctors means they're very tall. It's about 2 meters tall. So you can give them one headline with 2 different meanings. You can have them skim different articles and interpret which one is the funny one, which one is the normal one. That's a more funny way or interesting way to teach reading. How about a funny listening activity? Are you ready for a fun or funny listening activity? You have in front of you, thank you for your support, thank you. Yes. You have in front of you a handout. And on the back of that handout, you have some familiar characters. Okay? So what you're going to do, you're going to listen along to the listening script. You're going to listen along, and what you're going to do is this is called cacao listening. You're going to listen, and you're going to circle what is being described. And then we'll compare answers, okay? Are you ready?
Yes.
If this was a real class, I would say, ask your partner, what are you going to do right now? Okay, here we go. To circle what you hear. Yesterday, Mio got ready for work. Mio's the cat, for those of you. Lady cat. Yesterday, Mio got ready for work. Circle something. She worked at her computer from 9 o'clock until almost 6 o'clock. She worked, she listened to music, she whistled at her computer until almost 6 o'clock. At 6 o'clock, at almost 6 o'clock, she suddenly felt hungry. She's thinking, okay, suddenly she's hungry. Imagine your students doing this. At 6 o'clock she left work. She's thinking about dinner. At 6 o'clock she left work. On her way home, she passed a shop with a very fancy Chanel bag, and she fell in love with this bag. And that's the end of the story. Okay? She didn't have enough money for the bag. Alright, so share with your partners, what did you circle? If you don't have a partner, you can share with me. What did you circle? Good. Have you done this before? Nice. Everyone share? Yeah? What did you get? Alright, okay. Good job. Yeah. Wow. You guys are so good at group work. You're like SMU and YL students. You know, the girl behind you, her name is Sanjo, she's super nice. She loves New York. If you ever want to talk to someone, she's super nice. 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. I can tell who my students. The other ones are like, what did he say? All right. So I don't know how to do this. Just stop when I should circle something. Tell me stop.
Stop.
So you circle this one.
Yeah.
Okay, let's stick with Neo. Oh, stop this one too. Oh my goodness. Okay, how about here? This one?
Stop.
Oh, circle that one. Okay, maybe. I don't know. We'll have to check. I don't know even what you would say for this one. Suddenly posing. No? Nothing? No? No?
Stop.
This one? Oh, good. How about here?
Stop.
She didn't do yoga? Well, let's check. You got that one? Did you get that one? Yeah, you did. How about this one? What's the next one? I forget. Chanel. How about 6 p.m.? All right, good job. Round of applause. If you want these materials to use in your own classroom, you can just ask us for it. We'll give it to you. No problem. No problem. Don't tell Kako. We didn't get permission. All right. That's an old computer. Look at that speaker. Okay. How about grammar practice? Can we practice grammar in an interesting way? I'm sorry, I don't have anything else on your handout. I think we use your handout. Those are the only ones that we need a handout for. But fun or funny grammar practice we can do. This is one that's really fun if you can, and funny, if you can find images for your passive voice. Okay, this is called passive pictures. I don't know if you can tell. This one is a picture of. This is a picture of a dog biting a man. How do you say that with the passive voice? The man is bitten by a dog or was bitten by a dog, right? And in this one, the man is biting the dog. So how do we say that? The dog was bitten by a man. So you can have these passive voice sentences. You can either ask them to draw pictures of the real meaning and the opposite one, and then match to sentences, or you can put the pictures up yourself and have them match. But this will help them notice that the only thing that changes, the man was bitten by the dog was bitten by the man. The only thing that changes is a little bit of word order. So, anyway, pretty interesting. It's really hard to find a picture of a man biting a dog. It's really hard. Really hard. Google wanted to give me a bunch of wrong pictures. Anyway, so the dog was bitten by the man was bitten by the dog. So you can use pictures like that for passive voice. You can use pictures like this for any kind of contrast, present and past, progressive and past simple. Anyway, how about some fun or funny fluency speaking? Just kidding. Fun or funny fluency speaking. What do we need for fluency speaking? Well, how many of you like animation? How many of your students like animation? A lot? Yeah, because you're in middle school, right? Yeah, what kind of animation do they like? Toy Story. I've seen the Buzz Lightyear on cars. Have you seen that? Anyway, do you know who this is? Kandaku? Yeah, I know. Same name as a KT Wiz player. You don't care, but anyway, so you can have them do this speaking activity where they either create their own animation or they borrow from their favorite animation. They can find on Naver or Google. Who's this one? Turi. I know. So here's what you do. You give your students one of these character profile card templates. They're really easy to make. Or if you take my PowerPoint free of charge, you can use this one. And basically they either draw their character, or if they're not very creative but they really like pororo, they can use their favorite one. You can actually cut them out and give them to them. And what do? They write the name, age, country, nationality, likes, dislikes. You can change this for whatever level your students are. And then, it's kind of like speed dating. Have you done speed dating before? Speed dating activity? It's like, my name's Joe and I like to go to the beach. And they have to find their partner down the line. It's just like this, except it's not dating, not romance. This is kids, right? It's more like, I want you to be in my adventure. I want you to be in my movie. And so they find their partner. So maybe you have pororo partners with Peach, that one. What is it? Peach?
Wedding peach.
Wedding Peach? How do you know that? How do you know that? So they can find their animation partner for their new movie project. And then they can spend time talking about their project and telling the class. So it's really kind of cool because it's what they're interested in. So, anyway. That's a fun one. So they go around in a circle, quickly interview each other to decide who they want to join them. And in the end, you could have a weird combination, right? You could have Buzz Lightyear with Pororo. It's like, oh, that's crazy, I can't believe that. Okay? Kaneko and Sonic the Hedgehog. Okay? Alright. You could do funny writing. This one's really cool. I think so. I'm kind of a nerd. I like writing. How many of you like writing? How many of you like teaching writing? Okay. Next week in methodology, you're going to learn about teaching writing. Oh yeah. YL students, you can drop by too. Okay, so this is one, even if you're teaching essay development, this is really cool because one of the things we need to teach our students when they write an essay or a paragraph, it doesn't matter if this is a body paragraph or an essay. You always need an introduction. You can tell Dr. Moore if you want. You always need an introduction. You need a transition or another fact, and a conclusion. So in this setup, you can have people like a family. Okay? You have one parent is a mother, one parent is a father. So, mother, child, father. So mother gives the main idea, introduction. Alright, so, let's talk about animals, basically. Now we have another detail here. One child says, oh, I really like dogs. That's one paragraph or one sentence. The next child says, oh, I really like cats. Cats are great for this reason, blah, blah, blah. The other child says, I really like donkeys. Doesn't matter. And the last person is the father who gives that conclusion of what the mother said. So you can actually line up students in this way to make writing more interesting. And then if they write it down, then you can say, look, you just made a paragraph, you just made an essay. Okay? Anyway, if you don't think you'll be teaching much writing, think about it for yourself. Huh? Say, hey, I can practice this in Dr. Moore's ASD class. Oh yeah. Anyway, anyone interested in teaching exam preparation, raise your hand. Exam preparation. No? Sunam? TOEFL? TOEIC? You never know. You never know. In methodology 2, we'll tell you all about teaching for exam preparation. How many of you took an exam before? Yeah. TOEFL? TOEIC? I used to be a TOEFL proctor, so I would give the exam, and I taught a little bit of TOEFL prep too. Anyway, so you can actually teach exam prep in a funny or fun way. So in the TOEIC part 1, students have to look at photos and they hear 4 short statements, and they have to choose the correct one. Okay, well you can teach even something as boring as exam prep in an interesting way. So the trick is, you get a fun or interesting picture. Huh? By the way, describe to your partners what you see in this picture. Are you looking at the same thing I'm looking at? What do you see in the picture? Okay, so now you're going to hear four different sentences. Okay, you're going to hear 4 different sentences, and you're going to have to choose the right one. Okay? A bride and a priest are getting married on a tightrope. A bride and a priest are getting married on a tightrope. B, a bride and a groom are getting married on a motorcycle. C, a bride and a groom are getting married on a tightrope. D, a bride and a groom are getting married on a tightrope. Is that your partners? Oh, A, B, C, or D. You only hear it once. This is a TOEIC. Raise your hand if you want me to replay. All of them, or C and D? Okay. C. A bride and a groom are getting married on a tightrope. D. A bride and a groom are getting married on a tightrope. Raise your hand if you think it's A. Raise your hand if you think it's B. Raise your hand if you think it's C. Raise your hand if you think it's D. Alright, so we changed a few things. We have some key words, like priest, this is a tightrope, this is a motorcycle, a dirt bike if you like one, it's a dirt bike. Okay? Bride and a groom. So the difference between C and D, they will change little sounds like that, alright? C was groom, D was broom. So, even if you are not teaching TOEIC or exam prep, this kind of activity can be really good for what? Listening. Because it can change meaning, those little phonemes, those little sounds, right? Anyway. And then there's a little bit of digital fun that we can do. I don't know how much time we have for this, but if you feel inspired, you could join me on a couple of these. Because why? Because our students use phones. Right? This is 2019. Our students use phones. These are some language learning apps if you're interested. Drops will give you a little bit of whatever language you're studying. English, Korean, Russian. What's that one? Adroid. I don't know too much about this. Duolingo. Anyone use Duolingo?
Heard of it.
Yeah. You get bothered by that bird all the time? Yeah. Totally. Kate knows what I'm talking about. It's like you haven't answered your question in 2 days, right? It'll bother you. And then it comes to your door, ping pong, right? Yeah. Okay. And we have Linguap, Monthly, Fluent Forever. I don't know all of these, but Google Translate will have augmented reality. Google Translate, you can take pictures of things, right? And you can it'll give you a real translation of images. But our students use tablets. Our students like webtoons. Okay, raise your hand if you like webtoons. Guess what? If you like webtoons, your students do too. Okay, these are really, really popular these days, especially in Korea right now. Okay, so they can be used to practice reading, practice listening, practice writing, practice speaking, practice vocabulary, practice anything. Okay? Anybody know this one? But how can we do that? Well, here's a webtoon I have borrowed from the internet. Don't worry, it's referenced in our credits. But what I've done is I found this webtoon on the internet. It's from Korea, but they were writing in English. It doesn't matter. You can find a Korean webtoon that's using Korean. You just block out the text. You block out the text, and you have the students fill it in. Okay, so they have to understand the meaning of what's happening. They can make it interesting, they can make it funny, they can make it anything. By the way, if you were a low-level student, what would you write here? What would you write here? Ask your partner, what do you think we could put here? How can you fill in those gaps? We're talking about it? We're talking about it? Okay. How about the first one? Anyone want to volunteer? Any you two got to volunteer? What's the first one? You voluntold. The first one, top one. They are happy. Okay. Second one. Young?
Yes.
What's the second one?
It's my turn.
Ooh, I like that. They're happy. It's my turn. And what did she say?
It's mine.
You know, I think the one that this class made is funnier than the original. I don't have the original, but basically it's like, wee! She's like, get out of here, you're too old. And this one's, did you say I was too old? Anyway, but you can use this kind of thing to practice writing, practice speaking, practice listening. You create a little script, and you're like, match it to the right webtoon. Match it to the right picture. Like, how about this one? I'm very angry right now. Which one is that? This one? Maybe this one, maybe this one. Anyway, you can do that all day long. Webtoons, I love webtoons. Here's a really cool one called digital whiteboards. Digital whiteboards. If you like the whiteboards in your classroom, you would love digital whiteboards. Okay? The thing about digital whiteboards is there's this one called Ryboard. It's totally free. Ryboard. You can add images to it. You can add memes to it. You can add text to it. You can draw. You can add images. Anything. And it's something your students can use too. This is why Google is better than Internet Explorer. But we could always do more level tests. That was fun. Ryboard. How many have used an interactive whiteboard before? Anyone? No? They're kind of fun. This is just a demo that you can use. And copy paste. Wants me to log into the demo. Never mind. Anyway, take my word for it. It's a really good one. What's great about it? What's great about it is that it's very, very interactive. I know. It's very interactive. You can add any kind of image to it. You can add any kind of text. Ta-da. and it's totally free as long as you register. It's totally free. Some of the things I'm going to tell you about today are not exactly entirely free, but you get a long sample with it anyway. Anybody use memes in the classroom? Memes? So some of these memes you can use in the classroom. Memes are very popular, especially among the young generation, for expressing meaning very quickly and simply. So you can use it to teach anything. You can use it to teach negatives. You can use it to teach imperatives. You can use it to teach, maybe not this one. This is not really good grammar to teach. Much while many help. It's dog language. One of the most interesting ones I'd like to tell you about today is an interactive website called Kahoot, which is out of Italy, actually. No, that's not going to work. Create that Kahoot. Kahoot, if we're lucky, we can actually do this right now. If we're lucky. Okay, Kahoot. I can log in. Okay, so here's a Kahoot we could do together. Oh yeah, this is a Kahoot that I created just for you guys. What I want to do is I open it up and I want to play it. And I'm going to display in just a second. Ready to join. Okay, if you would like to join this activity online, you can go to kahoot.it right now on your phone. If you like, you don't have to dance with me if you want. And then you log in with this number. Are you logged in? Okay, so, oh look, your name is there that fast. Ooh, look, we have 2 players. Apple and Young are both my students. 5 players. Seven is in there. Alright. You don't all have to join, of course, but just try to remember that number. Take a picture of it. Wow. But you can see already, you didn't even have to register for this one. Okay? So what I've done is I've made an interactive activity in here. We're going to do it in just a second. It's something you can do measuring any knowledge that you've taught them. You can measure any content, you can assess anything, or you can use it for a simple introductory activity. And what I have today is an introductory activity. Okay? Take a picture if you haven't logged in and you still want to. We'll go with 19 for now. Here we go. I'm tired of that music, aren't you? 8 questions. Are you ready?
Yes.
Number 1 of 8, what is your teacher's name? You're going to have some choices. That's me, by the way. Okay, you can choose. Two people thought of Miss Butterfly. Okay, alright. I mean, that's what my friends call me. Okay? 17 of you I will find out who called him his Next one. All right, so let's see. Let's look at the scoreboard. Ooh. I don't know where those numbers come from, but I guess you. Oh, if it's by time, this makes sense. Yeah, because how are you going to get that difference, right?
Right.
Let's see. Next one. Let's see who can get it the fastest. Your teacher teaches what? Wow. TESOL is the winner there. Math. Miss Butterfly, the math teacher. Okay. Apple 2010.
Wow.
Apple's got that 5G technology. Third one, where does your teacher come from? Some of you are going to have an advantage. Wow. 25 answers. Skip? I think that we're going to skip.
Mars.
Not many people sit down for this. Hawaii. England. Mars, really? Mars. Alright. Let's look at the scores. Apple in the lead. Apple's very competitive. You guys need to check. She's throwing elbows. Next one. Which pet does your teacher have? Petless and proud. What test? That means I have no pet. What test taking strategy did you use here?
Wow.
Sorry?
Sorry.
What test taking strategy did you use to choose that? The longest answer is usually right. Because, well, it's a real strategy because it's very hard to write bad test answers, right? So they're getting better at it, but it used to be like, longest one is going to do it.
So you're petless and proud?
I have no pet, and I make no apologies for that. I have no dog, no cat, no goldfish, no one.
Like 2 dogs.
2 dogs.
Maybe yours just growing for your future.
Oh, that's my future dog.
That's
2 dogs, 2 babies, and is that what you're thinking of? Wow. They know too much. All right. Oh, look, we have a new leader. Selena. All right, are we ready? Next one. Oh yeah, it's all about me time. Yeah, who pays attention to what I say? Katie Wiz! Running only on the treadmill. Outside? I can't breathe outside. You don't care. But anyway, one person said painting. Thank you, but no. You like painting. You've seen my drawing. My students have seen my drawings.
Very good.
Mia! Thank you, Mia. They have to get harder because if they're not difficult, they don't get more complex. It's not interesting. 10 people say the beach. By the way, the picture means nothing. The answer was Ireland. That's something nobody knew. One person guessed. One person guessed. I wonder who that one person is. Let's see. So, are you saying that? Did I say that before? Just guess.
Wow.
My face, you're like, he looks like those people. Alright, just two more. Which one is true? So you can see you can do this with any content. Don't pay attention to the picture. That's because I didn't pay for this service. They give me their pictures. 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait for 25. Longest one is always true. Skydiving. That was not my picture. That's when you don't pay for the service, you can't put your own pictures. If you do pay their monthly fee, I think it's like they charge you by the year, $10 a month or something. Then you can put whatever you want. All right, last one, I promise. Yuri. You're surprising me today. She's a really diligent student, and she's last one. Well, this is not relevant right now, but oops. Anyway, sorry. I just skipped through that one. Everything is the right answer for that one. Anything is right. So, we have our winners here. Our top three, let's say congratulations. Okay. And now if I click get feedback, it shows me the feedback. I can save results, we can play again, show the feedback. Anyway, so this is a really cool website. I just did the totally free version. You can do that too. I left the link on your page too, on your handout. Alright? Really cool. That's not the best way to do that. Okay. And we were about here. And something else about Kahoot. If you like Kahoot, oh jeez. If you like Kahoot, oh jeez. You can also use it for a different purpose. Play from here. Play from here. You can also search for other teachers' quizzes that they put in here that are open to the public. And you can check it out and say, hey, if this is relevant for my students, why not use theirs? You don't have to do the extra work if you don't need to. So there's a lot of these that are available for you to use. I prefer to personalize everything, but that's just me. It's the browse function. And if you ask for my materials, you can just check it out here. So I also have some other general considerations to wrap up with. One thing is, try to use fun formats for your materials whenever you can. How do you like my presentation format? It's pretty cool, huh? It's like comics, it's a little bit fun, a little bit cool. This is something that I found online as a Google Slides template. It's a Google Slides theme. So you can find PowerPoint templates and Google Slides theme online for free. I have the link here. I don't know if it's there. If you ask for my materials, I'll give it to you. Here's another really cool one I found. I found a Kakao Talk generator. So you can make fake Kakao Talk messages for your students, and you can just show it like a fake generator. Right? So you have 9 calls from mom. This is something that I programmed into the generator, right? 9 calls from mom. Mom says, "Gee, your dog chewed up the sofa." And then mom makes another message, "He pooped in your father's shoes." And then mom says, "When will you be home?" So think about the language you could practice with that, right? This is in a format that's appealing to them, that'd be interesting to them, right? It's just a little generator I found online. It's really cool. Anyone ever done one of these? Make a fake text message? No? Maybe you want to make evidence against somebody. You can also find, you can also use lots of different icons and images to make your materials more interesting. Anyway, these are a lot. You can follow these Google instructions to use emojis for anything. You can use icons to make meaning clear. This is all from Slides Carnival. Slides Carnival, and this is from Google Docs. And finally, oh, my little image didn't work out. Remember, your role is not to be a clown. This is a real teacher-faculty picture. When they took yearbook pictures, he's like, I'm going to be Stormtrooper. You don't have to be that guy. You can still be interesting. So remember, fun and funny teachers, they don't act super silly all the time for no reason. If you see me act silly in class, it's for a purpose. Okay? Sometimes we have to be the silliest in the room because otherwise your students are not going to want to do that. Right? You can't be afraid to make a fool of yourself. Remember, you're not trying to be their best friend. A lot of students, they need guidance. They need you to be a mentor. I work with adults, so it's a little different, but when you work with kids, they don't need a best friend, right? They need a mentor. Anyway, entertaining is not more important than educating. You're still educating. Finally, anyway, this is more of the same stuff, basically. Thank you very much. This is about all the time. If you have any questions, we have 58 seconds until our time is up. Alright. SMU, I'll see you guys on Friday. Bye-bye. I just went to that This one is a Google Slides theme. You can go to Slides Carnival. I'll put this in your Google Classroom too, so you can have it if you want to learn all these things together. Thanks for coming, guys.